An Italian prince was crushed to death by a lorry while riding a customized fixie cycle with no front brakes in London, an inquest heard. Filippo Corsini, 21, who was an heir to a Florentine noble family, died after being run over by a lorry delivering equipment to Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. He was on his way to Regent's University, where he was studying international business, the hearing was told. Mr. Corsini was riding a customized fixed-gear bike which had no front brake, which is illegal in the roads in the UK. Westminster Coroner's Court heard he was hit just before 12:40 p.m. after he had overtaken the huge lorry, driven by German national Thomas Doss. The inquest heard Mr. Corsini, who was not wearing a helmet at the time, overtook on the outside of the left-hand drive lorry, which meant Mr. Doss would not have been able to see him. Shortly after overtaking the HGV, the cyclist then pulled in front of the lorry, which was accelerating faster than him. The lorry hit the bike, and he went over the handlebars and landed in the road before the truck ran over him, causing catastrophic injuries. He was treated by paramedics and a doctor from the London Air Ambulance, but was pronounced dead at the scene. The inquest heard from black cab driver Brian Morey, a professional driver for 54 years, who saw the fatal collision. It caught the back of the bike. The back of the bike went up in the air and the cyclist went over the handlebars onto the road. When he took that left turn, I couldn't believe it. He did not see the lorry go over the student, but added, I could see the unit of the lorry bounce up and down a couple of times and I thought that he has run over him. Serious collision investigator PC David Keane found there were no issues with the vehicle and the driver rested appropriately before driving through London, having arrived in the UK from Holland the day before. He also told the court Mr. Corsini was very close to the lorry as he overtook him after moving closer to the vehicle to avoid a pedestrian curb. PC Keane said his bike had fixed gears, no front brake, and in order to slow down he had to use resistance in his legs to slow down. That is the only braking mechanism. In a statement read to the court by the coroner, Mr. Doe said he was an experienced driver and got his HGV license in 1995 while he was in the German army. Senior coroner Drive Fiona Wilcox said the lorry driver's attention would have been on the road in front of him at the time the cyclist passed him. The coroner said it was highly unlikely that Mr. Doss would have been looking that direction and if he had, he could not have seen him. She gave the medical cause of death as multiple injuries and gave a conclusion of accidental death. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.